hate to do, but it's becoming a norm to visit families and tell them that somebody that left to come to our schools have been permanently removed. This is the third case that I'm attending to in this area alone, where our principals are targeted and killed, to be quite frank. I had an opportunity to go through the footage because there are cameras here, and it's extremely difficult to witness such barbaric acts happening within our schooling environment. There is a sector that we all know that is familiar with killings, and it's quite clear that within the education space there are people that want to bring that kind of a sector behavior into our schools. I want to extend my sincere condolences to the family, the school leadership, the district, most importantly the teacher union, because the principal was the chairperson of the branch of SAT in this area, and also to the community itself. I had a brief discussions with the police. I appreciate their thoroughness in investigating this matter and their commitment to hunt down the killer or the person that hired the killer, so that we don't have this kind of things happening within our school premises. We're in discussions with the district to provide counseling and psychosocial support to the educators and the learners, as well as the family, so that at least we can start that process of closing this sad chapter in our schools. I must confirm, around March this year, I received an email from concerned people around this area raising challenges about the school, the qualifications of the principal, the management of issues in this school, and the district was forwarded that email to intervene, and they intervened and met with those that raised concerns. In the last 3 months, we thought everything has been sorted out until we got this sad news this morning. We'll hand over that kind of information to the police so that they can start with their investigations and we can understand what is the cause of this barbaric act. But from the video footage, it's quite clear that this was a hit, that someone was assigned to do what they've done. And we want to condemn that. We want to condemn that and implore on the law enforcement agencies to go all out and hunt these perpetrators. There is someone behind that gunman, or there are some people behind that gunman. And we have to know who are these people or who is this person. And I hope the law enforcement agencies will assist us, because if they can't, do not allow our schools to be killing fields, and must not allow our schools to be killing fields. So the law enforcement agencies must protect us. And I always say, and people raise these issues, that there are no security people at our schools. We don't have armed people in our schools. It's extremely difficult to do that. We are a learning institution, we are an education department. We rely on enforcement or law enforcement agencies to protect us. If someone can just easily walk in, kill somebody, and stroll out, it's painful, extremely difficult. Once more, my sincerest condolences to the family. They're still on the scene. It's very difficult. We invited them to join us here. We understand why they can't join us here. This thing is still fresh. They're still going through pain. But they are short of our support. The district is here. They will rearrange the school. But what is key is that we don't want to restart the schooling program until we are quite sure that everyone has received the necessary counseling and support. And we'll formally hand over everything, the footage, the information we have at our disposal to the law enforcement agencies so that they can start with their work. They've already started, they've already collected some information. Hopefully what we have, the evidence that we have, will assist them to resolve this puzzle. I want to leave it there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Can we take questions? Linda, 2, any other ones? Done. 3, 4. In that order?
Okay. Linda Gushe from ENCA, and I think I'll direct this one to the police in terms of some of the preliminary findings that they had been able to do, and if also do they have any leads in terms of the perpetrator. But the preliminary findings, maybe just information on the shots. We're seeing several shots in the car, just that bit of information to cover us in terms of what actually transpired this morning. Sure.
MEC, you spoke about this being one of 3 incidents that you've had to in this area. What happened in the other incidents? Did they also result in deaths?
Yeah.
And then what are you going to do now? Because if an armed person is able to drive through these gates, that's certainly not acceptable.
Amanda Madiba from Sunday Independent. Similar question, but is there a pattern between the 3 schools, of the killings? Is there like a pattern that you have seen from the 3 schools?
Okay, man.
My name is Petra from the SABC. Well, residents outside here are actually concerned about the safety of teachers and their learners following this incident. They are asking where was the security when this incident happened. What is the government going to be doing with regards to ensuring that pupils are safe in schools? And how many schools have been closed down in Gauteng due to a spike in infections, COVID-19 infections?
Let's leave the COVID part to Steve. Steve, I think, will give you that information. Let me address the issue of security. It's a complicated story that they've been fighting for quite some time. What we did as a department is to get what we call CPFs, Community Policing Forums, as people that can patrol our schools and volunteers that can come and assist us. But we're slapped with a court order by security companies, the body that manages security companies, that we're not allowed to have people that are not officially security guards to protect our schools. And there is an amount per security guard that we have within the schooling environment that we're fined. We had to go back to court because there's a lot of money. It runs in hundreds and hundreds of millions of rands. We have to go back to court to plead that we'll remove those people. They must not fine us. The reason being, we can't afford armed guards. We can't afford professional guards with the budget that we have as the education sector. So we had to revert to volunteers. We have to revert to our general assistants to play that role, because if you bring the CPFs that we used to have in the police, in the school premises. There is a court order against the Department of Education, in particular in Gauteng. And that's why you see that we don't have security arrangements in our schools. But schools that have huge budgets, they arrange their own security arrangements and follow that court order. So we want security guards in our schools, but we don't have the financial muscle to hire them. We want people that can protect all of us, but we don't have the financial muscle to do that. Because the problem is that education, and yesterday I was tabling the budget of education. Education received the highest budget in our province, is 53 billion. And 75% of that 53 billion goes to the salaries of teachers. So when you go to Treasury and other people and ask for additional funds, unfortunately, it becomes very difficult to get those things. So that's the reason why you'll have suspicions by community members that people are coming to our schools and do that. It's not about the loss of life only. It's about loss of assets, our equipment, vandalism, and lots of things that are happening within our schooling environment. So in the interim, we've just now converted into what we called e-security, of having cameras, alarms, and all those things. That is why here we've got cameras and all other things, so that at least that part, it's not that costly, and then we can then put the relevant resources around that area. So that's the state of affairs about lack of security in the education sector. And that is why we are calling on law enforcement agencies when they patrol our schools and other things, because the sector, the security sector, they've targeted us as a department, and they felt that we are taking their jobs, and therefore they wanted the courts to fine us those hundreds and hundreds of millions of rands that we don't have. So that's the context, and that's the reason why we're in this kind of a situation. As I said, it's not about loss of life, it's about vandalism, it's about a lot of things that are happening within the sector. So we can't work and get the relevant things that we have. In terms of the 3 incidents that I've attended, this is the 3rd one. It's a principal that was shot on the main road here. I think police worked on that case, and also there's a principal that was shot at the school around here. So it's and I think the police were indicating that they mediated another case where a principal felt he's or she's targeted and wanted protection from the police, and the police managed to meet and mediate that situation. So that is what I'm saying. There is a culture from another sector that people want to bring within our schooling environment, and must not allow that. And we are entitled to have proper protection. So we don't know any. I don't want to speculate what are the reasons, but there are 3 common things. If you look in all these cases, the management of funds of schools, in particular, the procurement of textbooks, because the department takes the budget and gives it to the SGBs to buy. I had a situation last month where that function was removed from some of the school governing bodies. They shut down all the schools in one area here for almost a week because they want those funds. So it's a contested thing. Secondly is appointments. Appointments of teachers, appointment of HODs, deputy principals and principals. Becoming a contested area. That is why some of us are arguing with Parliament that the manner that we appoint principals must change, because the current format is creating problems for all of us. And the third aspect, obviously, is the caliber of leadership, where people that believe that they can remove you and put themselves there, and they go all out to do whatever that wants to do. I know the principal that was removed, that was killed, we had to get another principal outside this community to demonstrate that even if you can kill somebody, it does not mean you are next to take over the post. So those are the three common things that we normally face within our schooling environment to deal with all these things. I'm not sure, Colonel, you want to give an update on what you have found and the things that you have. Colonel Raput.
Thank you, MEC. The issue that we have established is just that that needs a very comprehensive investigation. There is a lot of things that we have to follow up. There's a lot of people that we have to go and interview and all that and get things going. The other forensic leads that we have to follow is one of those. Others I cannot divulge as to who else we're going to bring in order to win this case and the other cases. Thank you.
Just the last one from me, Steve. MEC, you say you believe this was a hit. What in that video footage that makes you make that statement?
I mean, clearly the principal was followed. After it's just parked, somebody walks in and they execute the task that they've been given by whoever gave them that task, and they just walk out of the school. So that's... But police are better positioned, they will find that. They will. People can hide behind the killer, but we'll unmask them. We have no choice. We can't allow this culture to be prevalent in our school premises. We can't allow it. We must stop it on its tracks.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sure.
If they want to know...
Oh, no, I'll give you... Eh?
The benefit of our